Dr. Ovando was, as always, appropriate and classy. And one of the things that she did was that she recognized the staff. And we all know that the true backbone of this department is the staff. And one of the ways that I've had any amount of success is that I do what Linda tells me to do. So, so when she asked me to say some words on behalf of Dr. Roueche, it was truly an honor. As you all can imagine, it's also a very intimidating experience. Because what do you say about a legend, an icon, someone who is the unsurpassed leader in building a sector of education that has a profound impact on communities and the students, our nation, and our world? What do you say about someone who has touched the lives of communities across this country? It's a hard thing to do, especially in the time that Dr. Cantu gave us, but I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to come at this a little sideways by talking about how I heard about Dr. Roueche, not when I met him, but when I heard about him. And that was over 20 years ago when I lived in Cleveland, Ohio. And there was this amazing community college leader, Dr. Jerry Sue Thornton, who left an indelible mark and continues to leave an incredible mark on the city of Cleveland. And she was a role model for me because she inspired such great leadership. And when I had an opportunity to spend some time with Dr. Thornton, what she talked about was the incredible experience that she had in the community college leadership program and the incredible mentorship that she received from you. And so that's when I first heard about you. I next heard about you from my good friend and brother, Dr. Walter Bonfus. And I got to know Dr. Bonfus when we lived in Baton Rouge. Now, you all know Dr. Bonfus' story. I don't need to repeat it, but besides being the sharpest dresser on this side of the Mississippi, what we also know is that he is also an extraordinary leader and took on the incredible challenge in Baton Rouge and made that community a better place. And as you all know, he definitely cites Dr. Roueche, besides his beautiful bride, the other Dr. Bonfus, for his success. And there's no question that this program was an essential part of that. So you can imagine when I had the opportunity and privilege to come to the University of Texas, I was a bit intimidated when I joined the department. Because it's always interesting when you meet a legend. Are they going to be a diva? Are they going to be a prima donna? And we all know the answer to that's a resounding no. What we know about Dr. Roueche, and I can talk about his record, that he's written 37 books, 150 articles and chapters about community college leadership. He has visited more than 1,300 community colleges and universities to talk about the topic. And he himself is a community college graduate. He has shaped this department like all of the other distinguished honorees today. And more important, he made it possible for first-generation students and students of color to realize the dream and opportunity to move into the higher education pipeline. And like Jerry, Sue, and Walter, no one appreciates your efforts and your support more than the 500 graduates of the Community College Leadership Program. I've said this before about wise people, and it's true for you. I think the best evidence of your wisdom, John, is that you married well. And some would say, and so I do appreciate that's great evidence in the other Dr. Roueche, and we certainly understand you've always cited that incredible partnership, and so we definitely appreciate that as well. But what has been so wonderful for me is how our relationship is involved. You know, you served as distant mentor for me, and certainly a vicarious mentor for me through Walter. Then we became colleagues, and then became brothers. You are my brother, and I love you very much, and you will be missed. Congratulations.
Nothing particularly distinguished in his credentials, and so the department, in its wisdom, turned the applicant down. And lo and behold, at the next meeting, there was an appeal from the applicant, and he wrote this heart-rending letter saying that he wanted to appeal the decision and come and meet the faculty because he was truly a self-made person. And I don't remember if it was Don Phelps who made the comment or Bill Moore, but they said, let's bring this guy in here because we've never met one of those people, a truly self-made person. Well, the fellow probably sensed the jig was up because he refused the opportunity to come and meet us. And I know that's true for all of us in this room. Our graduates are planning a little fandango, as we always do in May. The CCLP folks always come back for the fandango, and we're doing that in 3 weeks. And I think we've got several hundred people coming back for my last official fandango. And Coral Noonan Terry, who's over there, hi Coral, our interim director of NISOT, kind of the mother hen of the fandango this year, along with Dr. Christian Thornton, said you might want to make a list of all the people that you would like to acknowledge and recognize at the fandango. And flying from Austin to Phoenix, I got a yellow pad out and I was writing down the names of all of my colleagues and good friends. And when I got over 90, I realized that wasn't going to work. And you have to go back in each of our lives and look at all the turns we've made, all the people that gave us advice. Jim, I'll never forget L.D. Haskew, the former dean of our college, a wonderful man, probably the smartest, most intellectual person I ever knew. And when I arrived, he gave me the nickname. I don't think anybody knew this, Jim, but I did. He called me Pup. And every now and then he called me over and said, Pup, I think I need to give you some more advice. Thank you, because in those days, I was having a hard time convincing my LA colleagues of some of the things I wanted to do, and was losing the vote of my colleagues. And Dr. Haskew came one day and he said, can I give you some advice? And I said, I'm wide open for some advice. He said, why don't you take the boys, they were all boys, Martha, in those days, they were all boys. He said, why don't you take the boys to lunch? He said, not as a group, but just one at a time. And he said, just listen to them. Don't tell them anything you're doing, just listen. And I said, well, that sounds like a good idea. He said, it'll work too. He said, let me tell you what I've learned. It's hard for people to vote against you if they've had lunch with you. So I'm indebted to all of you in this room, and to Walter especially, the great. You guys have been great, and the most wonderful staff in the world. And I did out-marry myself.
So I also get the great pleasure to close the program. And I realize, as many speakers have said, that I'm the only thing keeping you from that wonderful cake. So I will keep my remarks short. Another mentor of mine, and Walter certainly knows him, was my boss at LSU, Dr. Dan Fogel. And he shared with me, and we were talking one day, and he said that he said, what's the highest rank at the university? And of course I said chancellor, president. He said, no, professor. That is the highest rank in the university. And with that privilege comes great responsibility to model great university citizenship. And in these three remarkable faculty and university citizens, they have modeled that. And I can't, even though I know that I'm not trying to steal any of Herb's thunder, but I would be completely out of line if I did not also recognize Jim's much, much better half, Dr. Paul Cheese. And can we just give her a very good And I have to include all four, but for the three in our department, they gave a collective 104 years of distinguished service to this university and the Department of Educational Administration. What's remarkable that Martha's service started in middle school, and so we definitely we are, as we all know, losing a wealth of knowledge and teaching experience. Yet we know that we are richer for having you been here. All of us have benefited from your wisdom, your research, your knowledge of teaching diverse learners, and how to take teacher and administrative leadership to higher levels. It is now our challenge to model this incredible university citizenship to make this university and higher education a better place. And on behalf of all of my colleagues, we accept that pledge to make sure that your legacy stays at the level that it deserves, which is at the highest levels of higher education and citizenship. And we all appreciate the work you've done. Thank you very much.